For the past couple of days, this video has been on my mind profusely to a point where it's getting a little creepy. So we're gonna watch it together.
There's no self-aware people in this time.
Isn't that the truth?
They're as free as you're ever gonna get right now. These are considered the last days of freedom. You know, cell phones, they're banned in the future.
Your girl's a little paranoid. I've really just been thinking, we are the idiot era.
They refer to this time as the idiot era.
I can't get that out of my head.
It's so concentrated by the 2080s that
2080.
people don't grow any hair anymore.
80s.
And
I love going at that time.
you see, by the 2080s, everything changes. And fruit, you never have to pay for it.
Like in America?
So it's just a simple misunderstanding, really.
In America. Are you sure?
Water.
If this don't motivate you to do whatever you want to do right now, I don't know what will. It's so interesting.
So why are we here?
But the shoes had me done.
I like it here.
I said.
Because it's the juice. And if you don't have the juice, you don't have it. So if you don't have the juice, you can't capitalize.
Fill the room with the juice. That's a lot of loot. That bit fire. Yeah, she kinda.
Welcome back to the channel. If you're wondering why I look so tired, I had a night last night. My body is aching. I think I had like 7 drinks, 2 shots, like 5 drinks. Tequila. I'm not understanding how I didn't wake up with a hangover today, but we thank God. Now, for the past couple of days, this video has been on my mind profusely to a point where it's getting a little creepy. So we're gonna watch it together because I don't think I can watch the whole thing by myself. At least I tried to, and it didn't work at all. I passed out halfway through it twice on 2 different occasions. So I came across this video maybe 3 days ago on TikTok, and you know, I was pretty like, I don't know about all of this, like, we'll see, let's find this video, whatever have you. But the more I watched, the more I was like, oh wow. Oh wow. So if you haven't seen this and you don't know what you're getting yourself into right now, feel free to put that tinfoil hat on if you need to. You might need to, I don't know, really just depends on who you are. But yeah, let's hop in here. It's called Confessions of a Time Traveler, the man from 3036. I'm trying to like comprehend how far away that is from right now. Yeah, I'm not gonna be alive. Absolutely not. I'm like, wow, I don't know what that time frame would be like. But yeah, so let's get in this. It's literally like 38 minutes long, so hopefully we won't need to do 2 parts. I will obviously link this in the description if you want to watch it on your own time. And yeah, so I'm excited to hear the end of this because I've really just been thinking, we are the idiot era. I can't get that out of my head. And again, if you haven't seen this, brace yourself. All right, let's hop in here because your girl's a little paranoid. Just a little bit, maybe. I don't know, maybe. Okay, so when this first started, I was like, what is this? And why does it look like this? You know what I mean? Like, I was confused. I was like, is this a TikTok video that was put on YouTube?
It sounds like a plot from a movie. Police are trying to unravel the true identity of a mystery man.
Time travel. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, when in fact it could be more of a reality than we think.
Scientists now claim time travelers could use parallel dimensions to visit the past.
Police say that it is possible that this guy just very active.
Do y'all believe in it?
Life,
like in time travel? I low-key believe there has to be something.
From a security camera police used to identify the man accused of stealing.
It's under investigation what the true motive behind this is. We are exploring his mindset and any possibility that mental health played a role in this.
The one thing police have not been able to figure out, the person's identity.
It was a shock. not only to the public, but to investigators too.
We received startling information from the state lab regarding the presence of an unknown male profile.
The DA says they are still conducting multiple DNA tests. They won't say where investigators are in the testing process.
There's this mystery person. No one knew.
I wonder why.
Traveling back in time, and unidentified
Investigators are losing hope they'll one day put a face to a man who so far doesn't show up in any missing person database anywhere in the country.
Child.
So you may have seen this story in the news.
I'm just like,
Time
Halloween.
traveler from 3036 arrested. An identified man gets arrested for stealing. Claims to be from the year 3036. Authorities say the unknown man has no birth record, no social security number, and no identification file on record. When asked why he was stealing, he told police he thought clothing and food was free in the marketplace.
This tripped me out right
He
here.
later explained this to be part of the new society in the year 3036.
Like, imagine.
The year
We don't need to
he is
pay for
supposedly
this.
from.
Excuse
In
you?
the future.
What? He was not easy to find. I mean, I wouldn't want to be found, honestly. I can't wait to see the end of this interview.
Hi, Sebastian. Yep, my name's Jack Helms. Is this Sebastian? Yes, my name's Jack. I'm a journalist and documentary filmmaker. I was really intrigued by your story. Just curious if I can have a quick minute of your time to talk. What about? Well, like I was saying, I'm absolutely fascinated by your story. And I'm sure I can speak for everyone when I say
He
this.
sounds
but,
so like...
I'd love to know more about the future.
What about? Yes.
You're better off not knowing. What's that? I said you're better off not knowing.
Like, that's so creepy.
Not knowing what?
Exactly.
You said you wanted to know more about the future. And I'm telling you, you'd be better off not knowing. Why do you say that? It's just not what you think it would be. Would you be open to doing an interview with me? I'm really not trying to do interviews. Stuff like that. I completely understand, but I really believe you, and I believe your story. I just feel like your perspective on things would be important to probe, and the things you know must be truly incredible. Would you please just give me a few minutes of your time for an interview?
See, right here, doesn't that sound fake? That sounds so, like, scripted and so... Like, I don't know, like, this just sounds, like, very much, like, not real. But it's also, like, what really is real, right? Like, in reality, it's all perception. Therefore, we create our own realities, you know?
Yeah, okay. Great. I appreciate it very much. I'll call you later this week to schedule a good time, okay? Yeah, that's fine.
Like, that sounds so sketch. Like, that just doesn't sound real. Like, look at this.
You must be Jack.
I was
You
like...
have a cell phone on you?
Yeah.
This
Please
can't be
turn it
real.
off now. If you absolutely must keep it on for emergency purposes, please put it in airplane mode. And please do that now.
Okay.
We're going to go over
When
here.
he said this, okay, when I first saw this part, I thought in my head, I remember coming across a video on TikTok that was like, when you go to sleep, put your phone on airplane mode. And it just was going into like details about like why the radiation, you know, just all of that, right? And I remember I put my phone on airplane mode, and then I remember, I think like the next day, 6 hours like into the day, I was like, oh my gosh, my phone's on airplane mode. So I was missing like so many things. Like, I wasn't getting any of my notifications. I wasn't seeing anything. And I just didn't realize because I was on Wi-Fi. So I just assumed like, oh, my phone's on, like, you know, whatever. And it made me realize that why is it that I can't necessarily have this so-called great, you know, product without it harming me long term? And if that's the case, why isn't that like rectified now instead of like, oh, let's add 5G and this and that and let's just keep going until, you know, it's just, I don't know. Because part of me is like, yeah, it does make sense. Like, why would we put ourselves in that place to do that and continue to not care and then put that iPad or screen in our kids' faces, like knowing that there's obviously something that we can't see that also is, you know, being transmuted that is not good for our health, like overall. It's so interesting.
So why are we here?
The shoes had me done.
I like it here.
I said.
It's
I like
a good
it
place
here.
to come and gather your thoughts.
It's a good place to come and gather your thoughts. That right there lets me know that you're going back, right?
Well, I want to thank you for.
Or you've traveled more than once.
Today. I expected you to be bald though, because in all the pictures I've seen, you're bald.
Yeah. I didn't have hair when I first got here. You see, people's hair doesn't grow in the future.
Why not?
Radiation. Man-made radiation is so concentrated by the 2080s that people don't grow any hair anymore.
80s.
And
I am long gone at that time, right?
So why the mask?
I have to wear it.
And why is that?
My immune system. Everybody in the future has to wear masks or respirators when going outdoors.
When does this all happen?
It's happening right now. If you had any idea what you were breathing in right now, you'd be wearing a mask too.
Why is that?
I already told you. You're not going to want to hear this stuff. There's nothing good about it. How old are you?
42.
Yeah, see. You'll be long gone way before this stuff starts to affect anybody.
What do you mean?
People's health rapidly declines over time. It's basically unstable and unfit conditions for the next 90 years from now. You see, by the 2080s, everything changes. Over 1 billion people die as a result of it. And that's just in a 20-year span. Practically everybody born out of that point is born with high levels of ionized metals in their bloodstream. And that's one of the main reasons our immune system is so weak, and that's why I asked you to turn off your cell phone. The amount of radiation that comes from your cell phone is enough to make me feel extremely sick. I get chest pains, headaches, vomiting. The amount of radiation coming from your devices is off the charts. You know, cell phones, they're banned in the future. They were completely banned by the 2000s.
This had me like, stop.
When they realized how harmful they were for you.
Y'all ban cell phones?
Matter of fact, the 5G rollout you guys have going on right now is the beginning of it all, according to our history books. If you guys understood how dangerous these frequencies are, you'd have never agreed to it.
Who did? I didn't.
You people are oblivious to it.
I don't know who you people is.
It's crazy.
But it is crazy.
There's no self-aware people in this time.
Isn't that the truth?
Everywhere you go, you see children and babies.
Literally.
With cell phones in their hands.
Literally everywhere. It's like normal now.
How dangerous it is.
I remember when it would be like, oh, you're that parent. You know?
You know, in the future, they refer to this time as the idiot era.
This right
no
here.
Offense.
No offense.
But you guys just don't have any idea.
Let's be honest.
The average lifespan by the 2080s is around 40 years old for men and 50 years old for women.
Like, that's crazy.
That's all because of the radiation. It gets better. It takes time. By 3010, things will start to look up. But it'll always be a problem. Probably a problem we'll never fix.
See, probably a problem we'll never fix. And you know what? Child, I can't even speak. You know what that made me think of is how they have people who are protesting the climate change and just the state of the globe by I think they're gluing their hand to really expensive art pieces because they're trying to get people's attention about like the state of the world and just like how bad we are handling it and basically just destroying what we live on, you know what I mean? And it's really interesting seeing these activists do everything in their power to get people's attention. People get that attention, and then it's still like, okay, I gotta go to work. Okay, I gotta go pay my bills. Okay, I gotta go pick up my kid from daycare. Okay, well, that's great, but I gotta go do this. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's like, we have all of these, like, really pressing issues in our face in the forefront. Maybe not as close as we should be looking at it, but yeah, you know, we just kind of slide and slipping. All right, we gotta go. I gotta go pay my bills. Can't be homeless. You know, like other pressing issues are more activated within you, even though the bigger picture is actually more on the collective side. It's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. Bro.
The official report is that Sebastian, the man from 3036, could not be identified by any official documents whatsoever. It was verified by officials that his name, or at least the name he's using, has never been in any previous databases. This guy basically has no records at all. So that's a pretty good trick.
A good trick,
So do you
y'all.
plan on staying here?
No, I can't go back. The technology's not even here yet, even if I wanted to.
I think I passed out right here.
I'll say that loosely.
Right.
The technology is absolutely
It's
here.
definitely here.
It's just not readily available like it is in my time.
Right.
Perhaps you've heard of the Montauk Project or the Philadelphia Experiment. These are all time travel missions funded by the U.S. military.
So is time travel normal in the future? Like, does everybody do it?
Well, no. Everybody knows that it's real and that it's feasible, but it's restricted for military purposes and elite staff only.
Elite
if a
staff.
resident or civilian
What does that
is
mean?
caught time traveling,
Kardashians or what? Who's elite
it's prohibited.
in the future?
So is the future like they say it's going to be, like flying cars and robots and all that?
Who says that? I think we just think it
Yeah.
collectively.
We've got flying cars. They're called F-crafts.
F-craft.
We've got robots, primarily working off of AI. We don't have homes like you do now.
That's
We
weird.
have what's called pods.
This is weird.
Homes were completely done away with by the 3000s.
Like what?
3000s. Pods they're like homes, but a lot smaller, airtight, sealed. They don't affix to the ground. They use magnetic technology. So basically, you flip a switch, it locks. You flip off the switch, it unlocks. And this is done for transportation purposes. Robots are primarily used for labor positions.
Labor.
AI.
What kind of
which
labor
you
we talking
have already
about?
started to implement in your time,
If you've seen that show, you know
but
what
we
I'm talking
use on a much larger scale.
The first story I read about you were arrested for stealing food. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was the first day I got here, actually. I wasn't aware of your customs here yet.
about. Not customs.
You see, in the future, things like fruit, water, some vegetables, they're free in the marketplaces. We have what's called nourishment centers, where basically you're allowed up to 3 items at no cost. And fruit, you never have to pay for.
Like in America?
So it's just a simple misunderstanding, really.
In America. Are you sure?
Water. I still can't get over the fact that you guys pay for water to be bottled up here. Your time makes history in so many ways.
Damn. I bet. And you know what else?
I found myself.
I was thinking about how, like, social media, the internet, like, just everything in this digital world that we live in right now, right? We can't go anywhere and see what that was like in another time, right? So when we're looking back at history before this time, whatever you want to call it, it's weird because we can never compare ourselves to them because they did not have distractions at the level that we have distractions, right? So like the distractions that we have are so like subconsciously innate in us that I feel like the catapult or the motivation that most humans should have in life isn't necessarily there in some aspects because they may be more hyper focused on being that famous person or being a Twitch streamer or being a YouTuber or being an actor or basically anything that puts you into that influencer space instead of I want to be a president, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be somebody who like changes the world and like, you know, actually become somebody known, which was a lot harder to do before this time, right? So it was even more of that motivation of like, oh no, I'm gonna do this, like it's gonna happen. Whereas today you can have people do that and not necessarily care about the goal because the goal will be like kind of blurry because you may see it as like, okay, this is the best song that I have right now. I really want to put this out. This is amazing. I'm going to put this out. And then you put out another song that you don't really care about, but you just want to put it out because like, obviously, you know, you want to be that person. And then that song goes viral and then you become that instead of like what you actually wanted to become in that moment because you're now like, oh, well, I have to follow this path because like, this is what everyone loves. Like, this is where all of my likes are. This is what everybody wants me to talk about. Like this is where my prime, my gold is. When in reality, it's like, you wouldn't have had that affect you in the past. It wouldn't have been on the level that it is now because of the internet. Like it's such an interesting concept that I feel like a lot of people don't like. It's not that they don't grasp it because obviously everyone has conversations about social media and stuff, but to think about it as in, what would your life be like right now at this exact second if the internet was not here? If you never learned about a computer, if you never typed, if you never did anything that has to do with anything Microsoft or Xanga or AIM or just that entire period, if this just never happened and we were just continuing living life just like, oh, I met this guy at the grocery store, you know, instead of like, oh, I'm on a dating app. You know what I mean? Like, it's such an interesting mind anomaly. I don't know. Like, I think about like who I would be without any form of the internet. I would be a completely different person. I probably would have already read over 100 books this year, to be honest, because I was a reader when I was a kid. It's so interesting.
So, pretty amazed. I'm not saying I'm a believer at this point. I mean, anyone can make up a story, but I have to admit it. It's a pretty good story. After a few days went by, I thought of a million more questions I wanted to ask. I found myself wanting more information about the supposed future. And more importantly, I wanted to push for more proof, something that can point to the truth. I really wanted to know, is this guy from the future, or is it all just a story?
So I'm on my way to an interview with Sebastian, and I've noticed something strange. Ever since I left the house, this same car has been following me. And I'm 100% sure it's the same car because when I stopped to get gas, it stopped. And then when I left, it followed.
Wait, are we 15 minutes in?
It's either a coincidence or
I think I went to sleep a little bit after like the 15, 16 minute mark. And I don't know why. Like, you know when you're engaged in something and you're watching it and you're not sleepy? That was me. Like, I don't get how I passed out.
Hey.
It's like,
how you doing?
What was
thanks
that?
for having us. You mind if I come in and use
Who was making me sleepy?
Been driving for a long time.
Who was making me not see this? Okay, this. If you go in my bathroom and you start recording stuff, I really don't care what year it is. It's a problem. Like, what are you doing in my bathroom? Oh, I remember this. I think he puts the hair in a bag, but I don't know what he does with it. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming to get DNA, but it's like, didn't they already do that? Like, I don't know if this is like before or after. Either way, this is completely illegal. I don't care what year it is. Like, what are you doing, dog? This is just, I don't know, man.
Will you just give me everything in one big crash course, more or less?
Look at his face.
One big crash course, huh?
It's just like, this can't be real, bro.
Yeah, okay.
Like, look at his eyes.
There's gonna be several major wars. There's gonna be a world war that will change many things for your lifetime. It's gonna be between the US, the EU, China, Russia, and the Middle East. More specifically, Iran. This war is going to be massive. And there's another one starting right now with this coronavirus. This war will be known as the vaccine war. Billions of people will refuse the vaccine, and billions of people die as a result of it. There is no resolve, even through my time. This vaccine is a mandatory chip implant. By the time I was born, every child born into the corporation is required to have it.
Okay.
You can actually see it.
Everyone born into the corporation. I can't believe he said that because, what is it? The United States. Is it the United States is a country? The United States of America, legally, is a corporation and not a country. So it's interesting that he even said that, the corporation, implying that in the future everyone is fully aware that this is not necessarily a country. It is a corporation.
This scar, where I have the mind.
Oh, God.
Feel it.
Yeah. I can feel it. That's weird.
Everybody's required to have it. You can't travel. You can't go to school. You can't work. You can't do anything without this chip. At that point, you're basically a beneather.
What's a beneather?
I can literally hear people, like the second he said chip, I could hear people saying like, mark of the beast. Mark of the beast. You know what I mean?
Right. So the beneathers are the people that don't believe in the chip or the vaccine. They basically refuse it. They live beneath the cities in the abandoned tunnel systems.
Like Futurama.
They're oftentimes referred to as the ones below. They refer to themselves as the believers, but to everyone else in society, they're known as the beneathers. They don't live long at all. They all live to about 40 years old.
Why does his mask look like a
Why did they
period
die so
pad? Females.
Nobody can live outside for years and years at a time without proper care. People need masks and respirators outdoors at all times. The air quality in my time is so poor that nobody can live out there for long. And that's why there's no more houses, and everybody's required to live in pods. Pods are the only kind of living quarters that can protect us from the air pollutants.
Would you be willing to allow us to x-ray that chip in your hand so we can get a visual of it? We pay for it, of course. No, I'm not saying that at all. But visual proof of it would obviously substantiate your claim.
Set it up.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they already showed the picture of the x-ray. That's crazy.
His x-ray results proved exactly
And
what
then,
he said.
wait, isn't there a TikTok of that? There is a TikTok of that. It's like a woman.
Yes, I have an RFID chip in my hand that's used as a key to unlock basically everything in our house. Obviously, I just use my hand to get into the house. And this is the main area which we live in. As you can see, the door's locked because it's red. Scan it. Hey, Chip Pup. We've got these doors and functions all around the house. This one's to our bedroom. And before you say, no, you don't. I got nothing up my sleeve, guys. Like, it's my hand. And during quarantine, Mike and I made these prototypes where we chip locked our furniture. This is definitely a prototype because it's not perfect. But I can unlock my nightstand. I can lock my office. We've got these all around the house. And even my desk. Look at it. Why would you chippy your whole house? Because it's a proof of concept. And we're a really techie and innovative family. Right, Chip Pup.
Walking through a gorgeous, beautiful mansion, and she's opening doors and drawers and elevators with a chip that's in her hand. Gotta love that foreshadowing.
We can't determine the actual technology of the chip
Gotta love
itself.
that subliminal.
Sebastian does, in fact, have a
messaging.
foreign object implanted.
Let's get them ready for
in
it.
his hand.
Interesting.
Now, this doesn't confirm at all his claims of being from the future, but he does have an object in his hand. I mean, perhaps it's all just part of his elaborate hoax. Not only did we get an x-ray from Sebastian, but he also agreed to have blood work done. If he's telling the truth about everyone in the future being born with various forms of metal oxides in their body, this test will easily determine that.
What other things would you say are different in 3036 than they are now?
Well, I'll tell you this. You're as free as you're ever gonna get. Right now. These are considered the last days of freedom. Your kids won't.
Child.
You're as free as you're ever gonna get.
Don't tell me that.
These are considered the last days of freedom. Your kids won't even see it. So, soak it up. Because as simple-minded as your time period is, you got it pretty good.
Damn.
You just don't know it.
Right.
What's the population in 3036?
The world population?
Yeah.
Just over 2 billion people. You know what?
That's crazy.
You might actually be here when the big blackout happens. How old are you again?
42.
So you'll be in your 70s by the time that happens. You might want to check back out before then.
Who? Might want to check out before then. If this don't motivate you to do whatever you want to do right now, I don't know what will.
Big blackout, if I'm not mistaken, happens in December 2052. Basically, everything goes dark for upwards to 5 years. The internet, the power, all gets disconnected on the account of what's called terrorist. But many speculate otherwise. Anyway. 5 years.
Anyway, and you know what I thought about is those bunkers. You know those bunkers that like the famous people are buying. Like there's like some what are they? Like there's some like elite ones. There's some that you know are more for like maybe the middle class, higher class. I mean, it's a lot of money. Of course, this is going into the doomsday preparation people. You know what I mean? So there's some people that absolutely will not invest in something like that. So him saying that is very interesting because that. When was that even introduced to my awareness? I think it was like 2009, 2010. even earlier. But again, this is very much like the mindset of like, oh my God, the Illuminati, and like, this is what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, this was so, what a time. What a time to be alive. What a time.
Riots.
Riots.
You name it.
Like the Purge.
It's pretty much one of the worst of times.
Right, like.
It takes them upwards to 20 years to get the power back online.
Who's them?
And even then, it's absolute chaos. Believe it or not, our zoo consists of animals like dogs and cats, rabbits, squirrels. These are considered exotic animals. All of the larger species like lions, and tigers, cat species, the larger ones, elephants, they're all gone. The larger species no longer exist. We've got large areas, hundreds of miles, thousands of miles, all designated to wind turbines, reflective mirrors, and solar panels. It's one of the few remaining jobs left for residents, but it's also the most dangerous. When children are first born, they're assigned partners, which are called caring ones. These are basically small robots that monitor the child for health conditions. The caring ones are assigned.
What?
But it's also the most dangerous. When children are first born, they're assigned partners, which are called caring ones. These are basically small robots that monitor the child for health conditions. The caring ones are assigned with children up until the age 16 when they're legally able to have children. At times, the caring ones can be assigned for longer durations, whether or not the children have mental instabilities, health issues, and other underlying conditions.
So the parents are not
These
there?
caretakers or robots are also allowed to detain civilians or residents as well. They read to the children, they teach the children, they basically do all of the duties of a parent. And it's done like this for a reason. From birth, we're taught that these robots are just as important as your parents or siblings. There are no more schools like you know them to be today. Children are taught with AI. We're taught at a young age that all residents are equal, none being more important than the other. There's no more religion. Religious beliefs are strictly forbidden.
Oh my God.
AI. We're taught at a young age that all residents are equal, none being more important than the other. There's no more religion. Religious beliefs are strictly forbidden. The few people that still practice Christianity are forced to live with beneathers, basically, where there's no access to clean water, health care, and so on. For the most part, people just don't jeopardize it and no longer practice religion. Mating is much different. Residents without any illnesses are allowed to mate upwards 3 times a year until impregnated. The female population is highly monitored.
3 times a year? 3 times a year. Wow. I can do that. It's easy. I'm celibate right now, so not an issue for me over here. But whoa, that's different.
Male civilians are also put on hormone therapy drugs to regulate mating. If you're caught having children outside of the regulated time periods without a caretaker or a caring one, and without getting them vaccines, they're removed from the guardians, and it's speculated that they're either killed or used for food. There's no entertainment like you have today.
Cannibalism?
We don't have movies, music, sports. There's no actors, no celebrities, nothing like that. The only form of entertainment we have is to read books. And if you're caught reading a book for any other purpose other than...
What was I just saying? Was I not just saying that? Like, I remember a time of just all I wanted to do was just go home and read books. Like, I remember I got in trouble for reading. I remember getting books taken away from me from teachers because I was distracting other kids because I was reading inappropriate books or books that weren't for my age group or whatever. It's just, I just was always in a book like that. That's just who I was. Like before, preteen, alcohol, being cool, being in, activities with other kids. Like before all of that, it was just me, books, and, go to school. Like that was it. That was how I survived during that time because it was a very lonely time in that period of my childhood. So it's really interesting that he said that.
And educational purposes, it's against the law. The United States, as you know it today, no longer exists. There's no more government. There's no more countries. Every country is under now.
Did you hear that? The United States. Notice how he's saying, like the words he's saying. I literally just said that. I was like, the United States is a country. The United States of America is a corporation. He said, the United States doesn't exist anymore. There are no more countries. He's literally fact checking what I'm saying without even saying it. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean? This is so weird. You guys, if you've seen this, please tell me what your thoughts were when you first saw it, because I'm shook right now.
What's called a corporation.
Let them know. Let them know. Because, whoa.
The United States, as you know it today, no longer exists. There's no more government. There's no more countries. Every country is under now what's called a corporation. The whole world is basically under 3 major corporations. We are under what's called the Rothschilds Corp. The merger of these 3 corporations changed it all. A company named Gavi, which is a Bill Gates corporation. Amazon, which you have today, which they merge and become Gavazon. And then you've got the Rothschilds Group. Those are your 3 major corporations.
I ain't saying nothing.
So what used to be the bigger nations, like United States, Russia, China, they all fall under one corporation, the Rothschilds Corp. We don't celebrate many holidays anymore. We have one known as the Day of the United, which was the merger of the 3 corporations. We have another, which is called the Day of the Caring Ones, which is the first day the robot was online and placed inside of residents' homes. There's a global currency now under the corporation. Everything is done via the bank and via this chip.
I just left my interview with Sebastian, and sure enough, that car is following me again.
I sent Sebastian's hair off to 2 different companies for DNA analysis, and the results are perplexing to say the least. The first record clearly shows no significant links to any DNA strands currently on record. Now, if that wasn't strange enough, the second analysis from a completely different company has 0% all the way down the line. Not a single link. Basically, his bloodline couldn't be traced back to anyone in history.
What?
Well, Sebastian, hi, it's Jack. I have something very interesting I wanted to talk to you about. Would you mind if we set up a time to talk again?
Jack, I'm sorry, I can't. I wasn't being completely honest with you about how I got here. Jack, I really can't talk about it. I'm sorry, I have to go.
Wait, Sebastian, is everything okay?
Jack, I can't talk. I have to go.
Hello? Sebastian?
Oh, that's crazy. You probably ain't even there no more.
Jack Helms. I'm calling about one of your tenants. His name is Sebastian. I haven't been able to reach him in over a week.
He never say anything to me. He never say anything to me. He just leave all his stuff.
Oh, really? Well, if you see him, can you tell him that Jack Helms is looking for him?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Even that sounds like, you know. Oh, is this the metal? The metals, right?
For the past week, every time I leave the house, I'm pretty sure I'm being followed.
Boy, heck no. Woo!
Sheriff's deputies recovered a body. They say it is a male, but they were not able to make a clear ID.
While there's no face to put with a story, human remains found in a thickly wooded area off Old Highway 20.
There's no face to put with the story, only belonging.
A real-life mystery that today sits stored away in evidence bags.
Around 8 this morning, a body was found. Police right now calling this a suspicious death investigation.
Although we can't confirm that this is in fact the remains of Sebastian, I did find it strange that the victim's left hand was missing.
I'm saying.
That would have been the hand he had the chip in. Also, Cypress Park, where the victim was found, was the same location I first met with Sebastian.
So why are we here?
It's a good place to come and gather your thoughts.
That's crazy.
You know?
Yo. Lord, what is going on?
One thing I've been meaning to ask you. How did you get here?
I was just an accident. I didn't mean to come here.
By accident?
Right.
What do you mean?
What?
Well, I mean, I didn't come here on purpose.
With all due respect, how does that happen? With all due respect, how does that happen? How does somebody accidentally time travel?
Turn off the camera. Turn it off. Okay, listen. We can't talk about that kind of stuff. Officially, the record is I got here by accident. Do you understand? I'm going to tell you something, but it's completely off the record. By no means can you go around telling people what I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
$30-36. That's it. That's the end.
Wait, what?
Like the end of the world?
3036 is the last year that humanity will exist. See, the Earth ends for most living species every 6,300 years or so. It's supposedly the Earth's natural cycle, but that depends on who you ask. Mostly the beneath-earthers, but others too. They believe it's the return of the supreme race. You see, they believe the Anunnaki are returning.
The Anunnaki?
Right. The Anunnaki are the supreme race who live on what NASA has named Planet X. But we know it as Nibiru at my time. Your government already knows about this planet. They've already told you that. They just don't tell you the truth about it. See, the truth was kept from everyone for many years. Your government is fully aware.
I feel like I should unplug my Google.
See, the truth was kept from everyone for many years. Your government is fully aware of the supreme race. And I mean that as in today, current time. And this information doesn't actually surface for another 800 years or more. You see, that was the problem. It was kept alive for so long that it's hard for people to believe what's being told anymore. In the end, you probably won't ever know the truth. But as a wise man once said, history is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon.
I was, okay, preach. We may never know what really. That is really crazy. Like, what is this? Like, I'm very confused because.
But as a wise man once said, history is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon.
Okay. But if there's no religion in the future, why are you out here doing all of this? You forgot what the sun feels like? Or, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to understand where they got this little... Like, are you okay? Are you good? Does he have shoes on? I feel like he wouldn't have shoes on. What is he doing? If you've watched this far, thank you so much for your time. You're welcome, because honey, that was 40 minutes, and I'm thoroughly trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with my brain right now. What am I supposed to do with this information? Because when you really think about it, if I wanted to do something with this information, regardless, I'm gonna die. So I ain't gonna be here to really help or fix anything. I'm gonna be dead, right? But you know what it's also making me think? It's making me think, okay, so if we die, right, which obviously we're gonna die, and then when we die, are we coming back to this situation, or are we going to like other timeline situations where maybe this timeline doesn't even exist? Where are we gonna be coming back to this over and over again, but just not remembering what happened previously? What am I supposed to do with this information? My head is like spinning right now. Like, I really, you guys, I'm done. Let me know what y'all thought about this video. Please let me know. Because it's very hard not to believe. I'm going to be honest with you. There's nothing in me that's like, oh, none of that makes sense. You know what I mean? All of it pretty much makes sense to me. But if you feel otherwise, please let me know your opinion down below. And of course, if you made it all the way to the end, don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see y'all in my next one, because I'm physically scratching my head and also mentally scratching my head, spiritually scratching my head, religiously scratching my head. So many ways of scratching the head. So many multiple ways. It's actually mind-boggling. Yeah, I don't know why I'm trying to think of what I can do to fix it. There's nothing I can do. I'm dead, right? Can you guys let me know collectively what we could actually do if we wanted to actually fix this? Because I don't know if it's fixable. I don't know if it's fixable. I don't even know if it's real. I don't even know what we just watched. Bye. Literally bye. Like, I'm paranoid. I can't do this. I don't.
Turn off the camera. Turn it off.
Pulling out the coupe in the lot, 12 for a squat, busting all the bells out the box, hit the lick.